Streaming in over hundreds of countries, availability whenever you want. The number one leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast presents to you the WWE pay-per-view champion of the world, the Italian guy, and the infamous CDP, and we are the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Yes, thank you, Infamous P. It sounds good when someone else calls me the WWE pay-per-view champion, the Italian god. But thank you for checking us out, and thank you for introducing us, Infamous P. Yes, we are here from the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, giving you our Attitude Years Raw Is War recaps. Right now, we're only giving you Raw Is War and pay-per-view recaps because in the current timeline of WWE history and of January 1998, there is no Sunday Night Heat yet. That will come in September. We will get there. But for now, we are on our last episode of Raw from the month of January, and this episode is coming to you live, right? They're live, right? No, maybe. I don't know. But it's January 26, 1998 from Davis, California in the UC Davis Rec Hall, which I've never been to. You're in California. Ever heard of it?
Actually, no, but I will say one thing I did like about the UC Hall is like in the corner they had like this number thing at the corner, and I'm not sure if it was a skybox or not though, but I thought it was a good thing. I thought it was a cool thing for an arena to have.
Ooh, very cool. Very, very cool. I like learning about different arenas. I went to Madison Square Garden and I was mad because I didn't get to take it in as a wrestling fan. There's so much fucking history there. And it was just, I was fighting with my fiance. It was a bad night, so I didn't get to really take it in. I really want to go again so I could really just, experience. But it's hard because it's almost like a museum and they don't open the doors until the show's about to start and you really don't have much time to explore, right? Don't they close right after?
Actually, I've never been to Madison Square though. I want to go to Madison Square and catch a show there, but just but now that you're saying that they close up and they don't even open up until the show starts, so you can't just like walk around just Madison Square Garden. But I guess to be fair, you can't just necessarily walk around any arena that I know in the United States. So I guess that's fair, but who knows?
Well, I just wonder how people have time to really, because there's a lot of people that do. They take pictures, they walk around, and I'm like, how do people find the time to do that?
They probably knew somebody that probably got them to security.
Or maybe like the show they're seeing isn't a like wrestling show. Maybe they're allowed to go to like shows, or I don't know. I have no idea.
What the Knicks do play at Madison Square too, so maybe like they might got the Spike Lee treatment though. They could like walk inside there anywhere they want, or not, because there've been reports of like they've been like saying that Spike Lee had to go through like regular entrance, but he like goes to every Knicks game. He got season long Knicks game tickets. You see him on the floor every game on every Knicks game.
Yeah.
But
I did get to see a WWE production truck, like how they have like the trucks with the wrestlers' faces on them. I got to see those. That was kind of cool.
Up close?
Yeah, well, not super close because we weren't like close where you could touch it. We were farther from it, but you could see it from where we were. It was cool because it was I took a picture and everything. But yeah, my friend was able to see like he got a picture with Big E. Got a picture of a couple of people, so I was mad. I was like, I wanted to freaking go and see it, but
I heard B. That's it. I heard B is like a super genuine, like great person to meet in person. What did your friend say about him?
About Big E?
Yeah.
Oh, he said that he didn't say much about him. He got a picture with him. So, I mean, he didn't really say anything. He just said that he stopped and took a picture. I've heard stories, and you'll probably hear some too. A lot of my, some of the co-hosts have met some of the wrestlers. And some of the wrestlers I've heard, Dana actually has met a couple. Some that you would think would be really nice have been really jerks. And the ones that you would think would be jerks are really nice. Some of the people that Dana told me about, I'm like, wow, really? But those are Dan's story to tell.
I
So
get. I guess you. But anyway, as you were saying, Raw Is War from Davis, California, in the UC Hall. Our first match is Mark Henry with the Nation, with Ken Shamrock, with Ahmed Johnson, and DOA. Before we begin, I gotta let you know something. And for this point forward, I will now refer to 8 Ball and Skull as the Nazi brothers.
tell me about that.
Okay, so the Harris brothers. Okay, so the Harris brothers, or 8 Ball and Skull, they was part of DOA. They actually have like Nazi symbols, Nazi tattoos, like that has been covered up. However, I have read up on a story that like they only got tattoos for a gimmick. But then again, I know you probably seen that one shirt floating around with, I guess, like Don or Ron wearing like the the SS shirt and TNA Impact. I knew you probably seen that before, right?
No, I don't think I have. I'm gonna look that up now, though.
Okay, well, shall I continue while you do that, or?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, the California crowd pops for the hometown boy. The match starts. Shamrock runs up on yeah, Shamrock runs on Henry. Henry like whips Shamrock into the ropes, put him in the snake eyes. We got a power slam on Henry. Shamrock kicks out. Henry goes for a real breaker, and that's pretty much his 2 moves that he does for the match. Bear hoods and rear breakers. Shamrock escapes from the bear hood. Henry is still all slams the bear hoods after. The crowd chants Rocky sucks as Rock is getting the most of the attention in the match because I guess he's the big star.
Yeah.
Let's see. Henry, Irish rope. Henry catches Shamrock for another real breaker. It looked like he almost slipped when he tried to put Shamrock in another barrel hood. Then we get a headbutt for Shamrock, and then the spinning kick combo by Shamrock. Henry swings. Shamrock hits with the belly to belly. The match ends at 3 minutes and 19 seconds when all the members of DOA and the Nation, the Shamrock and Ahmed and everybody else runs to the ring. And Ken Shamrock wins this one by disqualification. And what's your thoughts?
So I when I was watching this, I had just finished recording the Mark Henry Broken Skull sessions, which you can check out in the archives. It's a very good interview, and I wanted to pay more attention to Mark Henry because after learning about him and like hearing about him, I think he's a really good person. So I wanted to kind of see like, I didn't really pay attention a lot to Mark Henry. I saw him as a big guy. He was a funny guy. And obviously, the Hall of Pain, somebody couldn't get their ass kicked. Like, obviously, Mark Henry's a tough motherfucker. But I'm not really into the big guys, really. But I do think Mark Henry was good at this time. He did do a lot of bear hugs and stuff, but I think that's just sort of like his role at the time. And for this, Ken Shamrock just kept winning by DQ all the time. So it just kept feeling like another way for Shamrock to one up the Nation. But I do have a feeling that, the Nation's going to take advantage in a little bit, but something's going to happen soon, Infamous P, and I don't know. But what do you think? Do you think that something I want to ask you is, do you feel like they should have kept this whole Ken Shamrock Nation, Shamrock winning by DQ? Because this happens a bit. What do you think? Do you think were kind of lazy?
To be totally fair, this is like Vince Russo crass TV booking. I mean,
yeah.
Most England disqualification, most ends were running. I swear to swear, bro. But yeah, like I didn't think it was necessarily with Shamrock that suffered from disqualification wins. I mean, a lot of people around this area just like only. Matter of fact, I don't think there's been like an Attitude Era match outside of pay-per-views that lasted like no longer than maybe like 10 minutes.
That's crazy. But it's so entertaining. So it's like, even though the matches were like 2 minutes, they all sort of had a reason for being on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As a kid, I mean, when I did, well, let me correct myself first. When I first joined this podcast, I said I was pro WCW, and that is very true. But at the same time, that you hear like certain bits and pieces about the WWF and everything else, and every now and then you might catch an episode of Raw if you just like want to see what's going on. But so that little claim I said I was pro WCW. That's not exactly all true. I did watch a little bit of WWF, but I was all the way WWF after that one episode when Mick Foley won the title. So let me just clarify that right now. Anyway, shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Go right on ahead.
All right, so the commentary pimps up the matches for the evening, says exclusive footage from when Kane and the Bear set the casket on fire was containing the Undertaker the Royal Rumble. We go to commercial break. We get a recap of Kane. We get a recap of the Kane and Undertaker and Paul Bearer feud that started this past summer, where Paul Bearer reveals the location of Kane. Then, of course, you have Bad Blood. Then you have the mini reunion that literally lasted 1 week, and then the Royal Rumble. We then get seen, quote unquote, never unseen footage of the aftermath showing that the Undertaker was not in the casket. Then we have a WWE rewind of HBK dressing up as Undertaker from the past week, which leads us to our fallen match, the NWA era. We have NWA North American champion Jeff Jarrett and Barry Windham with Jim Cornette and the NWA Tag Team Champions Rock and Roll Express versus the Legion of Doom. Before the match, correct. Well, hold on. Before I continue, Barry Windham was Bray Wyatt's dad, right?
No. So Barry Windham was partners with Bray Wyatt's dad. Bray Wyatt's dad is IRS, Erwin R. Shyster.
Right, totally.
But you know why you're getting confused? Bray Wyatt is named after Barry Windham. Bray's real name is Windham. So his Erwin R. Shyster, his real name was Erwin R. Shyster's name was Mike Rotunda. Him and Barry Windham were the U.S. Express, and they were at the first WrestleMania as a tag team champions. So they were close when they were younger. So Mike Rotunda named his son Windham, who grew up to be Bray Wyatt. So that's why they're technically, it's kind of true. It's like a father to him. His namesake is after him, but yeah.
Anyway, the more you know. And when Barry Windham cuts the promo saying that unless you've been living on a rock, that he is the greatest NWA. And he says in the sports entertainment business, he got tired of being a clown. Jarrett gets on the mic and says that he can lead the NWA in the 21st century because he has a heritage and he has a title and he's the one with the gold. What?
Yeah.
And when the match begins, Courtney jumps on commentary and he does not do a 2-minute rant. I meant to bring this up last week though, because on the previous week, Courtney gets on the commentary and he literally goes off for 2 minutes straight, uninterrupted. This week, I'm pretty sure somebody in Mansfield would say, "Hey, you got to cut that out this week."
Yeah.
Anyway, let's say onto the match action. Windham Animal goes for a lockout. Windham gets the better of him. There's an Irish whip by Windham. Hawk reverses to a shoulder block. Clotheslines back to back by Hawk. Windham rolls out. Jarrett's tag in and gets wrecked. Animal with the arm wrench. Hawk comes in. We get a net breaker by Hawk. Jarrett rebounds with a drop kick in the middle rope. Hangman struts and he pays for it. Hawk gets a gorilla press in. Jarrett asks where Corny is going. Corny says he's going to bring this outlaw organization back to the offices, which he cannot do since the WWF owns the NWA. Or do they? I mean, our person would discuss that after the match.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hawk with the Irish whip reverses. Windham knocks Hawk. Windham gets tagged in. Slam. We get a 2 count. Jarrett gets tagged back in. Sunset flip. Aloha Hawk for a millisecond, and then Hawk beams Jarrett. Jarrett grabs Hawk's heel and tags in Windham. Windham with a big boot to the chest. We get tag team answering the Jarrett get tagged back in. Irish whip the corner. Hawk throws his bid back into Jarrett, and then Animal gets tagged in with a back suplex to Windham and a clothesline to Jarrett. We get a power slam, pin, 2 count. Hawk with a fist drop to I'm sorry, read through my notes, my bad.
Uncorked and uncensored.
Hawk slam, fist drop, climbs the top rope, and he does a flying clothesline to the legal man Jarrett. The Rock and Roll Express then goes on the apron to distract the ref. Corny throws in the racket. Windham hits Animal with the racket, and was it Animal or Hawk? No, it was Animal. I believe it was Animal. Anyway, And when it goes to the pan, Hawk kicks out a 2.5, but Jimmy Corderas count as 3, and the match ends at 5 minutes or 4 seconds. And I had wanted to say something about the kick out that Animal did, because it's been well known that Animal did thought a little bit highly of himself, and the LOD did not like to lose.
They're like, I'm not gonna lose that way. Yeah, when I saw that, I wondered if it was like supposed to happen or not. Okay,
well,
so go ahead.
The reason why I said that is because on the Dark Side of the Ring episode of the Road Warriors, excuse me, Road Warrior Hawk actually confesses that his partner was a little bit of a firecracker. Like when they went to the United Kingdom for that one SummerSlam, instead of coming back to the States, Road Warrior Animal decided to go ahead and stay with the biker gangs around the area.
Holy shit.
You never heard that?
No. I remember I watched like a little bit of it, but I didn't finish that episode. But damn.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's yeah. I say that out of the LOD, Hawk was a more sane one, where Animal was just doing his own thing.
Well, I'm sure saw that with that. I don't really care so much about the NWA. I really like Jeff Jarrett's gimmick better after the NWA era, which you'll see leading up to WrestleMania. But go ahead.
And what was up with the interest music? I thought because I'm thinking I think I'm either gonna hear With My Baby Tonight around at this time when I first started watching this, but then we did get this doomy gloom 63-bit video game boss music, and I
hate you. Yeah, it was very weird. Very strange for Jeff Jarrett. His whole gimmick was strange at the time. I mean, there really wasn't much to talk about here. Just another way to kind of show off NWA. Because they really don't do much, I really don't want to focus much time because you'll see in a couple of months what happens with NWA. But it's cool to see it for now. Small little group.
Anyway, as we continue to the show, the commentators pimp up the upcoming segments. The Masters JR announced that they will speak to DS with Trips, Chains, and Bucket bald naked, with HBK holding the European and the WWF titles, covering Hunter's little sledgehammer.
Holy cannoli.
Anyway, we get a recap on the Tyson Austin 7 from last week, and then we get the DS promo. JR addresses HBK, but Trips interrupts to address Owen Hart while Triple H winces with China wraps up his leg. Triple H says, "You want the best, you got him. He may not be 100%, but even at 50%, he's more of a man than he hopes to be." Continue on with the Mr. Hanky represents is saying he's going to flush him down to the master sewer, to the cesspool in the South where he belongs. Now, afterwards, HBK hams it up. The showstopper, the icon, the main event, blah, blah, blah. A role model to millions of kids. I'm not testing that one. Saying kids was listening cars and letters, and then he offers to be the guest referee, and I cannot help but to think that this was a legitimate Shawn Michaels idea. When you think about the WrestleMania 13.
Probably.
I mean, if somehow Vince McMahon got the Nevada State Commission. Well, actually, I think I saw a newspaper headline during the show where they said the Nevada State Commission had cleared Tyson to wrestle, but he just can't fight because the whole biting the ear off thing. Yeah. So, but then when you think about the WrestleMania 13, when the Losing My Smile promo, and then he shows up to WrestleMania anyway at the main event in the commentary table. I cannot, and we all know that Shawn Michaels did not like to lose titles around this time. I cannot help but to think that if they were gonna have the WWE champion be the referee and have Austin and Tyson draw. I want to ask you about that. And you think that if they would have messed around and did that, would have sufficed for a WWF championship match or not?
I feel like, because I watched the WrestleMania 13 Undertaker versus Psycho Sid match, and I thought that was a good match. I think that I would have rather have seen Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, in my opinion, because it would have. What happened?
I said, yeah, who wouldn't?
And I think that I feel like it would have made more sense if they did it at WrestleMania 13 because it would have came right after the year after they fought at WrestleMania 12. But I do think Shawn was, kind of full of it with that whole thing. I think he wanted to fight on his own terms, and I think he used that whole entire injury as a way to kind of, lost my smile type thing to just do business for himself. And a lot of people say that about Shawn at the time. He was a really not a great person.
Speaking of which, during the interview, Triple H says that Shawn Michaels is modest and he don't like to put himself over. I get an image in my mind of Shane Douglas at like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street when he he does that spit take, he points at the TV. I had that image in my mind as soon as he said that.
Yeah, right. Shane was like, fuck that. But go ahead.
All right. Anyway, after the promo, I saw a sign in the crowd that says Tyson 316, I have to bit your ear off, and that kind of popped me a little bit. Yeah. The commentator pimped the show a little bit more, will lead us to our next match, Vader this, with Luna also dressed as Vader versus the actual Vader. Vader poses, but then Dustin comes in the counter. We get a lockup. Vader strikes and he pummels Dustin in the corner. We get the big splash by Vader, back body drop by Vader, suplex by Vader. Goldie retreats in the corner, but then Goldie goes low with a low blow. He face rates Vader's face in the ropes. Luna gets to choke Vader while the referee is distracted. Irish whip, clothesline by Goldie. We get a 2 count. Vader comes alive and slams Dusty in the corner. Irish whip by Dusty to the opposite corner, but Vader's smash body brings him down. Let's see, we get Vader setting up for a power bomb. He goes to the corner for a Vader bomb, and as it hits it, lights goes out, all black, all red, everything. It's Kane with Paul Bearer. Vader stands his ground. He goes after Kane. He power drives one and no sells it as when Vader fights Goldust off of the apron. Kane, excuse me. Excuse my words. Excuse me. Kane gets back up and gives Vader a stiff-looking tombstone. Ant, what is your thoughts?
So this is the first time that Kane and Vader are sort of going at it. And I think as we find out in the couple of Raws coming up, Vader is sort of the only dominant guy sort of next to The Undertaker in WWE at this time. So Vader is going to be looked at as the man to try to stop Kane because after Undertaker was burnt in that casket, he's going to be nowhere to be seen. So I thought it was interesting that the way they introduced this whole entire, because this does lead to a match between the two at No Way Out of Texas, but I think it's interesting the way that they did build this because they kind of randomly had him come out and attack Vader. I wonder if there was any sort of thing with them like on Shotgun Saturday Night or Superstars or one of those shows, because it's kind of just random with Kane just coming out and randomly attacking Vader, unless we as fans are supposed to think that Vader is just as dominant as Undertaker. But I do think it was interesting. It was a good lead up to what's going to happen. And Kane, that's a big dude Kane was lifting up. So
that's it. Yeah, 400 plus pounds. Also, if anybody that works at Peacock and knows someone that works at Peacock, I would like to have some Shotgun Saturday Night episodes uploaded, though. I think it'd be like a good thing to look at around at this time and see like how they was leading the stories like back then or whatever.
Yeah, because you'll see like there's some like storylines, like a lot of stuff, even with NWA, like where it's like on Raw, you'll see the matches. You're like, yeah, well, I'm Shotgun Saturday Night, and you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, it is cool to see Kane taking on another big guy, and we now know that it looks like Vader is going to be on the path.
Before we go to the war zone, we see like Mick Foley and Terry Funk sitting around in the corner while the ring crew is setting up the ring for the night. They're just joking about their opponents, the Outlaws, so they will be facing at the war zone right after this commercial break.
So now we're in the war zone. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought we were gonna take a break or head on straight to it though.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm unfortunately I have to redo an ad and we'll be getting that done soon. So right now there's no breaks. That's my fault, my man. Keep it going. Okay. In the war zone. Break it down.
All right. Cool. No doubt. All right. So so for our next match, non-title, we have Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charly, who lost last week via disqualification, versus the New Age Outlaws. Dog and Gun comes out wearing pitcher and catcher baseball equipment for some reason, and then Road Dogg, like I gotta say, this was not his best walk into the ring promo. He just like made like dick jokes about like Foley and Funk. They do a recap how Charly was introduced, but during the recap, while Foley and Funk were making the entrance, Gunn comes in with a baseball slash to Jack, while Funk and Dog battle in the ring. Gunn goes for a suplex to the top round. Foley reverses to one of his own. Meanwhile, Funk that Dog in the corner. Funk throws Dog outside. Foley kicks Gunn in his gut. We get a net breaker by Charly. But Dog gets the advantage of a Funk. Mick goes in for a low blow, but guess what? Dog sells it. Did he have genital replacement surgery? Who knows? GR later quips that he might have had one of those cups. You think? And anyway, Gully hits on Foley with the casher mask. Funk with the DDT. 2 count. Dog kiss out. Gunn with some amount of punches. We did double feature about how Dog sold a low blow. Funk gets double teamed. Dog knocks Funk down. We get another 2 count. Gunn and Funk battle it out. Gunn throws Dog into excuse me. Sorry, I gotta reread my notes.
You're okay.
Yes. Let's see. Gunn throws Dog into an open boot by Road Dogg with like the baseball coverings, and I gotta wonder, that has to hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to battle getting hit with wrestling gear, but then you got those baseball coverings too. Yikes. Anyway, we get a big boot by Dog. We get a big boot by the floor, and then Funk Funk Vincent gets a tag in Jack. Jack is a house of fire. We get a double arm by DDT. And then like Funk throws chairs into the ring. One of them actually hits Billy Gunn. Foley like reach inside Road Dogg's pants, pull out the cup, and then like kicks him right in the kids. And then the master and everything that goes to hell all after this segment. Mick Foley with a diving elbow drop with a chair to Billy Gunn on the outside. And I believe this match is a disqualification, and the Road Dogs and the Outlaws win.
Yes, sir. You're right.
So, any thoughts? There was a lot going on here.
Yeah, a lot going on. A lot of build for the New Age Outlaws versus Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charly. I honestly think that a lot of this stuff was crazy and interesting and cool because it wasn't done before. So when you're seeing this, you're like, oh crap, what's going on? But listen, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charly didn't come to play. They came to take names. They're not doing it anymore. They're taking the chairs. They're doing what they want.
And also about the chair spot, right? I think in one of the earlier podcasts, I said I didn't think that Cactus Jack and Terry Funk had a match before. They actually did, and this match is probably like the most famous match they ever done. It was in ECW. I know you've probably seen the image of like all the chairs flying into the ring.
Yeah,
that was that match.
Oh wow! Well, that's a very infamous moment. So
Terry Funk actually got buried on a chair, so I kind of find it funny that he's like throwing chairs, and one of them beams Billy though, and it's like, Terry, you should know better. That's kind of dangerous.
He's like, fuck it.
Anyway, our next. Anyway, like coming up, we get a video package highlight of the WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Taka Michinoku. Alrighty, for our next match, Brian Christopher versus the Cowboy from Hell, Pantera. Brian's uncle, the Honky Tonk Man, is a special ring announcer for this match. I guess Sonny was busy doing something or somebody tonight. But boom. The winner of this match get a title match against Taka Michinoku, who had No Way Out of Texas on February 15th. And of course, Ross had to bring up the Lawler family tree joke. To show how biased he is, Lawler says that he'll shake the hand of the winner no matter who he is. Brian looking to start until he goes to the floor. Pantera does a fake dive and then does a nice top tope suicida down the apron and through the ropes to Christopher, Sami Zayn style. Back inside though, Christopher blocks a handspring elbow in the corner and catches Pantera with the full Nessa facebuster. He dumps Pantera and gives him a sunset flip powerbomb out the apron. Back in, Christopher eats a whole lot of boot coming out the top rope after wasting too much time. Pantera delivers head scissors out of the corner and victory rolls Christopher for 1, 2, and no. Christopher turns around and lands a sit-up powerbomb to set up the Tennessee Jam, but Pantera moves and rolls up Christopher for the win. Match time at 4:28. After the match, Lawler shakes Pantero's hand and then knocks him out, of course. So, Ant, what you got?
So I think out of all these like light heavyweights in WWE at this time, Pantera I think is one of the most skilled. We'll see more as they come up in March and so, but I think Pantera is probably one of the most better high flyers. It's weird seeing Jerry Lawler involved with his brother because oh my god, with his son, because he's normally just sitting on commentary. So to see him, I know he's a former champion in Memphis, and I know all of his accolades and everything, but it's weird seeing him with his son who's no longer with us. And it's sort of like, it's weird because this whole entire Jerry's son storyline, stays throughout 1998. But for me, I feel like the light heavyweights could have been a bit better. Taka Michinoku was another good one. But for me, Brian Christopher was good, but I don't really consider Christopher a light heavyweight. And obviously, we knew Jerry Lawler was going to punch Pantera. There's no way he's going to be a good guy and shake Pantera's head.
I'm surprised WWF didn't get sued. I mean, the band didn't come after them for that character at all. I mean, I'm wondering about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he leaves out of TV not too much after this whole storyline. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I'm wondering about that. Might need to do some research about that.
Yeah, Pantera. I think Pantera is Panther in Spanish, so I think that's his gimmick is supposed to be a panther, which is really weird because but I think that's clear.
Yeah, we got to remember we live in the land of the free and the home of the lawsuit. So who knows? Anyway, back we hope to hear from Chainsaw Charly and Cactus Jack right after they start speaking. DS comes over to call them hardcore legends and getting them distracted as the Outlaws turn the Cyclone fence onto them. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. With the fence keeping them trapped, DS and the Outlaws beat this shit out of Cactus and the Chainsaw. Honestly, after rewatching this feud, I kind of like it. And especially everything that happened in the future, though. I never thought I really liked this feud, but low key, this is probably my favorite feud of Raw. Even though I don't understand the booking of Chainsaw and Charly with them losing by DQ, but yeah. 1998, folks.
Yep. Yeah, so New Age Outlaws have just been on the higher end here. They just keep one-upping Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charly here constantly with the attacks. I mean, I know, didn't something happen earlier on with them too, where they were throwing chairs? A lot's been happening on this Raw, man.
I know, right?
All right, going on.
Moving on, we got the Headbangers versus the Quebecers. This is a short little match as Thrasher plays face and peril against Les Quebecers. Hot tag goes to Moss. The Headbangers double backdrop Pierre. The Quebecers reverse a double whip from corner to corner, but the Headbangers jump into another. Pierre and Jacques think that's dumb and take them down anyways. Quebecers go for the finish. Excuse me. But Thrasher trips Pierce up top and Moss rolls a jackpot during the confusion for the win. We got a match time of 3:08. Afterwards, the Quebecers knock Thrasher to the floor so they can smack Moss. Jacques delivers an Alabama slam and applies a Boston crown while Pierre comes up the top of the ledge drop. Lost the battle, won the war type situation.
Yeah, the Quebecers look really powerful here, especially Pierre with that big leg drop. That was a powerful looking leg drop. This match kind of just thrown together, really no explanation why. Probably another Shotgun Saturday Night situation. But it was good to see. And hello, we are uncensored. But yeah, so that is my take on that. Go ahead. Back to
I got that ringtone, as a matter of fact.
You have that one too?
Oh, I got to get that ringtone.
Oh yeah, sorry, but yeah, that's a really fun one.
Sound like catchy elevator music. I like it.
Yes.
All right. So our main event of the night, the WWE European Champion Triple H, quote unquote, with China versus Owen Hart, and of course it's Goldust or Hunter Dust. So Goldust comes out the Triple H, and Luna is China, obviously. He got the huge nose, blonde wig, the chewing gum, the crutch, and the European title. The actual European title, as a matter of fact. So I don't know what DS was going for here. Hunter Dust loses the wig pretty quickly here. Owen fights off Goldust and hits the flying body press out the corner for 2. Goldust does the DS cross chop and drops a knee on Owen. He cheats with a little help of Luna on the chin lock. Owen escapes to surprise Goldust with a roll up for a near fall. Goldust starts working the knee as we go to break. When we come back, Owen's mounting the comeback. He hits an insecure that takes the fake nose off. Nice. Owen lands the missile drop kick in the kip up, but comes off the ropes and gets nailed with a crutch from Luna. Goldust hooks Owen for the pedigree, but Owens counters to the sharpshooter and gets the tap out. We got a match time of 5:11. Even though Diaz has a good laugh in the Titantron, Commissioner Slaughter comes out and decides to award the European title to Owen Hart. So we got a title change. It's funny how Diaz had kind of treated the European title like a joke, but then they lose it, they completely freak out. But whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like they were totally outsmarted by Sergeant Slaughter and Owen Hart. I mean, finally, Owen Hart gets some kind of revenge on Triple H and DX, and this whole entire Hunter Dust situation. Goldust has to get a life, man. He keeps doing this gimmick. It's getting old very quick, but it's good to see a new European champion, Owen Hart, and I'm excited to see what's next to come in the storyline.
Up next, we got video package highlights all the media attention that Austin Tyson incident received. Again, Vince McMahon was a genius for your book of this. Oh, interesting fact. Did you know that Tyson was supposed to be a Mania 6?
Did not know that.
Yes, it was like Buster Douglas ruined everything about wrestling. Think about it.
Because I think I heard the story. Didn't he beat him and then they didn't want him because he lost or something?
Yep, exactly. Buster Douglas ruined everything. Picture this. Saturday night main event. We got Hulk Hogan and Macho King Randy Savage, the two biggest icons of the 80s. Then you throw Mike Tyson inside there as a ring announcer. That shit was gonna draw. However, Buster Douglas not Mike Tyson now. So Vince McMahon said nah. And then Buster Douglas wound up being the ring announcer for the match. So there's that.
Yep.
So we get a response from Don King at his office in Fort Lauderdale. Says Mike Tyson can't fight according to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Don King says he and Vince McMahon will work out another way to get these two together and settle the differences at WrestleMania 14. We go back to the arena for a response from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Last week really pissed him off. He says he'll beat up Mike Tyson in Tyson's backyard, in his own backyard, and anybody else's backyard where he wants to meet. That knocks the gold tooth out of the mouth and make it to the necklace. Don King says nobody can stop Tyson from making a living, but Austin don't consider getting beat up by him months of a living. Awesome. He tells Tyson that he'll be in Houston, Texas on February 15th and dares Tyson to show up. Shocker, he don't. If he does, Austin will knock his ass out. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so. And that is our episode. And what is your thoughts?
It was interesting to see Stone Cold talk shit about Mike Tyson, knowing that eventually the two of them are going to again see each other at WrestleMania 14. But I felt like it could have ended a bit better. It was a weird segment to end the show, but great to see Austin. Great to kind of just continue on the Mike Tyson situation.
Yeah, I didn't exactly agree with them ending the Raw on the promo, but hey, it's 1998. Austin is the most over wrestler in the world at the time. It's like, shit gonna work.
Yeah, well, you can't hate on Austin, and I also can't hate on you, Pete. Thank you for covering this week's episode of Raw Is War. It was a crazy episode. Chairs were flying. People were getting punched. A lot is happening here in WWE. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with our next episode. I think our next episode is from February 2nd, 1998. So we'll be coming to you with that shortly. P, any last words, man?
Nope, I have nothing, man. It was a very interesting episode indeed. I will say this though. This is one of the reasons why that wrestling shows need to be 2 hours. I just say that.
Yeah, they were able to get all the storylines out. They're able to get everything done, have no, unnecessary stuff, and keep it moving. Just like us. Well, we will see you guys. Well, we will talk to you guys soon. Be safe and yeah, keep it on, keep it on. Bye.
Peace.